Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, and today I have a very special guest. All of my guests are extraordinary leaders, business consultants, business owners, heart-centered people who make a huge difference in the world. And today my guest is all of those things, and he makes a huge difference in my world as well. So I'd like to introduce you to Barry Auchettl, who is my beloved. So welcome and good morning, my dear.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, everyone. Looking forward to creating some magic today.
That is what we're going to be doing, creating some magic around clearing blocks, any blocks you may have to having greater visibility, greater exposure. And, here's what those blocks might sound like. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to get on Facebook Live and do a video. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to do, a new video that I'll put up on Facebook. Tomorrow I'm going to see about getting myself new speaking engagements. And then tomorrow never comes. So if that's happened for you, we're going to support you in breaking through any blocks around that. We're also going to address any concerns you might have over, am I good enough? Is my message worthwhile? Who wants to hear me anyway? And then there's that big one, imposter syndrome, getting out there and feeling like, oh, if they only knew who I really am. Well, we know who you really are. And Barry is going to bring his signature system, which I'll let him tell you about in a moment, to support you so you can get out there and share your message, because people do need to hear it, your unique slice of life. I'll tell you about him in just a moment. I want to remind you all, today is the last day for our membership special. So you can get a full 1-year gold membership with Women's Prosperity Network for just $299 for an entire year. Check out everything that's available to you. And Susan, if you would put the link in the chat and also in our Facebook feed, I'd appreciate it. I will tell everyone what it is. womensprosperityNetwork.com/2023 So go ahead and grab that now, especially if you're not a member yet, or if you're a monthly member, you'll save a boatload of money by going for the annual membership. And now to bring you to Barry Auchettl. We are also celebrating right now the 3-year anniversary of having first met each other, although we didn't connect in a romantic way until we're coming up on 9 months now. I know, it's pretty cool. So it's a fun story. Maybe we'll share that another day. What I want to share with you today is why he's called the Blockbuster. So let me tell you a little bit about his background and his expertise. He's known as the Blockbuster because he both identifies and clears blocks to moving forward in just minutes, enabling people to fulfill their own potential. He's a life visionary from Australia who has transformed his life through raising his own vibration, his inner world, and his frequency relationship with the outer world, using kinesiology and his unique energy system called light body alignment. He now supports others in doing the same through his life vision mentoring program. He is also the creator of the Conversations game, which is a beautiful way, like we talk about icebreakers. This is a heart melter, I would say, to really, and a soul amplifier to bring people into connection and conversation. It's extraordinary. And when we announce we're going to be playing a game, be sure you get on with that. He is also a vision expert, fixing your vision. And welcome, Barry.
Look, thanks, Nancy. There's a lot there, isn't there?
There is a lot there.
What I'd love to do today, just to let people know, my intent today is to focus on what Nancy was talking about earlier, on creating a shift in you stepping forward in your life, not just in your work, but your entire life this morning. That's a fairly big intent for 1 hour, but that's what my intent is.
And I'm sure you will achieve it because it happens all the time. And let's talk about some of these things that get in the way. And you and I both work with business owners and entrepreneurs who have big aspirations of wanting to, make a difference in the world and change a million lives. And then something comes up and you don't do the things you thought about doing or said you were going to do. So let's talk about what happens there.
Look, Nancy, the major things that happen, like we have all the intent in the world. Like we don't deliberately go out to sabotage ourselves. Like it's not like I'm going to wake up today and see how well I can sabotage myself.
Mm-hmm.
But our internal guidance system is always there in many ways to protect us. So things like as a child, we get told don't talk to strangers. And so we walk around as a child not talking to strangers. And then as an adult, we meet someone new and there's like some fear might come up. I don't know this person, they're a stranger. And so we still have this old program running that don't talk to strangers that may serve you when you're a child, but may not serve you as an adult.
All right. So it feels dangerous.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what I do is, and again, we could give you an affirmation. Like I use a series of statements, and a statement might be, it's safe to talk to people. Now, if we don't clear the energy behind that, what's going to happen is every time you say it's safe to talk to people, that 5-year-old girl in the back of your mind is going to go, no, it's not. And so the no, it's not actually becomes more powerful than words we say. And so what I do is I recognized early on that unless we clear the negative component or the sabotage component to what's going on behind our eyes, then every time we use an affirmation or a statement, and they might say it 100 times, you're simply reinforcing 100 times that it's not safe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get what you're talking about. And in most scenarios, to identify the root cause and clear it is weeks and weeks or months and months of therapy to identify it. And I don't personally have time for that.
Sure.
So how do we?
What I do in that case is, and I recognize that, that can happen too, by the way. You can get months of therapy and sometimes they tick it off and you can clear these, things, and there's some good therapies out there. What I tend to do is use more of a psychic ability to figure out what's really going on as quick as we can. And once we can find that statement, the statement that sort of eludes you from being the best person that you can be, and we clear that energetically, then your life can literally change within 5 minutes.
All right.
And I'm going to go on. You want me to tell you how I do it?
Keep
You want
going.
the secret sauce, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. The secret sauce is in a technique that I have called light body alignment. And light body alignment is simply a process. It looks like people see me clicking my fingers like this. But what's actually happening is this energy that with all these sabotages can actually get stored in our light body energies, in our aura, our electromagnetic field, whichever way you want to talk about it, where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can realign that and put that back into perspective, these statements automatically become clear and the stress automatically disappears. And what I can do is I can clear the stress. The only thing I can't do is to clear the old story that you've been using. And that's your responsibility to say, this is the old story. The energy's cleared. I'm going to go on there with something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's interesting is an example of that is I had a fear around escalators. So those really, really big ones, like especially the Atlanta airport, it's a really, really steep escalator. So I had the energy cleared around it. And then it was a few months later and I got to a really big escalator. And the story in my mind was, oh, I'm afraid of escalators. But when I actually looked in my body at that moment, I couldn't feel the fear. So I could have rebuilt the fear by buying into the story again, right?
Yeah.
So I think we've got to be able to recognize when the story is activating and checking with our body and how it feels. That's my way of tuning in to see what's really going on.
And I'll give you another example for myself. And this was one that literally happened for me last May. And I had this thing going in my head, these little stories that we create, that I had to be in a relationship. I had to find this relationship. I had to be in a relationship.
Wait a minute. This was in May.
This is in early May.
Okay. You're getting part of the story now, everyone, of how we came together.
And so she's got a bit embarrassed. Okay. But
No,
we're
good,
in early
good.
May, and I'm really recognizing that there was this almost like have to, have you ever, anyone experienced that? I've got to be in a relationship to be fulfilled. And I really recognized that I didn't have to be. And so I actually cleared the statement around I had to be in a relationship. That was the one holding me back. And in a way, holding me back from having an authentic relationship rather than a needy relationship. When you need to be in a relationship, I tend to was finding these needy relationships, and for some reason they weren't working. And so when I released the need to be in a relationship and really energetically cleared that, then guess what happened is I landed on Nancy's door. And there was no need to be in a relationship with Nancy, which actually opened up the possibility for something greater. And that, to me, in my mind, is how I was able to have myself at a higher vibration to be able to connect to Nancy at that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a connection, a true soul connection.
Yes.
That happened by clearing the path. And I had come to really a similar place for myself. I was single. I was very happy. I didn't have any need. And it was like, oh, this could be fun. And I just started with this could be fun. And here we are 9 months later.
And the other part of my work that's really interesting is this work operates beyond time and space. So even if you're listening to the replay, you're going to get the same benefit of the clearings I'm about to do as if you're here live. And so we've had people, for example, on the Clear Blocks to Money Flow in the Vision School have actually made $30,000 6 months after the program was created by listening to the replay and clearing the blocks to allow that to occur. And so I'm really excited today, and I really almost want to get into it for everyone.
Me too.
Clearing some blocks, those key ones that Nancy talked about, those 3 key aspects that I heard Nancy talk about. And I've got a statement for each one of those to clear. So the way I thought we might do this, Nancy, we might get a volunteer. And I'm really after someone who's an expert in procrastination. So anyone that's
That would be me.
Wait, who was that said that would be me?
Or me. I was just
Well,
saying
we got a few of them in the house. Let's go with Barbara Johnson. So do you want her on the screen, or just hearing her voice is enough? Because not everybody is video ready.
Just hearing her voice is enough.
All right, Barbara Johnson, you ready to play?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I'm okay.
So this is sort of triggered to you. Now, look, there's a whole lot of people here I know that has done that, and I'll do it tomorrow. Is that sort of part of your routine that you might have?
Yes, it's one of those. I make this to-do list, and I'll get to it eventually.
Right. Yes. And how much time do you spend, do you think, on both, doing the to-do list, thinking about what you need to do, going through your mind about I must do this? Like, how much time do you think is spent on that?
I don't know. I have no clue. I spend a lot of time going on oh yeah, I need to do that, and I'll write it down.
Right.
Oh yeah, I need to do that. It's constantly, it's like it distracts me even from doing like what I'm in the middle of doing. Like I'll be doing the dishes. It's like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I vacuum this area today. And I'll write that down, and today never comes, even though it is today. But it's written down.
Mm-hmm.
So I've come up with a statement that really could support you in that, and for everyone else here, because a whole lot of people jumped in on this one. This is one of the big areas for people. And the statement I've got for you, and I'll get you to say this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to muscle test to see if there's a stress around it. And the statement I've got for you to say is, I choose to save time and do it now.
I choose to save time and do it now.
Yeah, okay. So there's a whole lot of stress in that around that statement. All right. And
Yeah.
so part of you, this idea of doing it now, there's almost an internal guidance system that says, don't do it now, don't do it now. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
All right. And I want you to be really gentle on yourself. This is not something that you deliberately wake up and say, I'm going to practice the art of procrastination today. All right. It's an internal thing. In actual fact, for you, it's been there probably for around about the age of 9, 10, 11. Something like that happened around 9, 10, 11 for you, by the way. And it created that thing of leaving it alone. I don't know if you know what it is, but it might be something you need to think about.
I don't know what it is, not around that age.
Okay.
I don't remember that age.
Yeah, and that's sometimes what happens, you know, when there's some stress and some trauma that happens, we just block it out. Our mind says, nope, we don't want to know about this. And it actually triggered this whole thing for you around time wasting, really. You know, that's really what it is. So how would it feel for you if that statement was actually true, do you think? You know, I choose to save time and do it now. What would that feel like for you?
I feel like I'd be very busy, but I think I would get a lot of stuff done.
Okay. Would you like to clear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
So let's going to clear this, not just for Barbara, we're going to clear this for everyone who's live and everyone who's watching the replay. And so just feel within yourself if there's a difference as this is going through. You might feel some sort of energy shifts in your own body. And Barbara, I'll get to say again, I choose to save time and do it now.
I choose to save time and do it now.
All right. How's that feel saying that now compared to a few minutes ago?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's holding from an energy, like from a kinesiology viewpoint, it's holding. And when I'm listening to it and I also hear the voice, I can hear that actually sounds like you believe it this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I could do it. Yeah.
So I don't normally say, normally I just say to people, once you've got that statement, that's it, we've cleared it. For you, I think this might be a good mantra for you for a while, just to get rid of that old story as well.
Okay, I can do that.
And you're actually going to end up saving time.
I believe you.
If you're doing the dishes and the thought is, I really have to vacuum the floor and come back to the dishes. Like really trust the process about what's coming up for a little while and see what happens.
Okay. I can do that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being really brave and coming on.
Thank you.
I love it. And I tend to think that practice, Barbara, of following that, you know, intuitive hit, I would call it, or inspired idea, taking action on the inspired idea when it happens is going to elevate your intuition and also the opportunities that are available to you.
That's cool too.
So play with that a little, just play with that and observe over the next week or so. I think it's going to be a fun experiment.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot happen for everyone as a result of that. And look, Nancy and I, we get cleared on these too as we get to clear these. So that's really good for us as well. So, yeah, we're all in this together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Regina Sampson says, I feel more relief. Betsy says she knows exactly the trauma from the past that this was connected to. So good. So good.
Awesome.
Love it.
So let's do another one. I just think let's get in and clear these. And then what I want to do after we clear these three, I'm open to having Q&A if people have got any specific things they'd like to do after that. But the second one, you mentioned it earlier as well, is this idea of not being good enough. Has anyone got this idea that sometimes, you know, and Candy, you just keep jumping up. So I'm going to bring you on.
Hey, Candy.
Hey.
How are you, Candy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was that first statement for you? Because I knew you had your hand up for that one as well.
It was good. It was good. Yes.
So this is around about, will my message make a difference? You know, like I can really sense that you're wanting to make a difference in the world. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What's the part of you that says that you're not good enough? Do you know where that comes from?
Oh, I know exactly where it comes from. No matter what I accomplished, it was never enough for my mom or my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an attorney. I've tried cases. I've been to the Supreme Court. You know, I've had all kinds of experience, but it was always never enough. So when I step back and move into something else,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
hard for me to.
And I really get that your mum, you've picked up all these attributes directly actually from your mum, by the way. That's where it's come from.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
All right. So I've got a really cool statement for you. And some of these statements are obviously connected to what we're talking about. And sometimes statements come up that aren't even connected. And I have to work at why. And this was sort of one of those when it came up, but it might make more sense when you actually say it. And the statement is, I allow my soul to speak. Can you say that for me, Candy?
Yes. I allow my soul to speak.
Okay. What happens to you when you say that? It's coming up as a stress. I'm just wondering what's happening for you when you say that.
Fear, I think some of it is, what if they're right? And then the other part of me knows it's bullshit. Pardon my French, but
Yep.
that's Texas speak. But so it's just making myself realize I am good enough. I can do what I want to do and be successful.
Okay. So I'm just going to let you know that everything that you just said there was a stress. Like, you
Absolutely.
know the answer that you meant to give.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And that was
Exactly.
a really good answer that you gave. And it's actually true, by the way, and you don't believe it.
Exactly.
So I want to shift that for you if we can. And this is recognizing, and we can recognize it a little bit intellectually, but I'm going to clear it energetically in a moment. But intellectually, I want you to also understand that your soul, the soul within you that we ask to speak, is both authentic and unique. Your soul is both authentic and unique. Okay, I'm going to jump into Nancy and say that's a gold nugget for everyone to write down.
That was, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, my soul is authentic and unique.
And so all our role is allowing our soul to speak. And that cannot not be good enough, because our soul knows exactly what it needs. So can you relate to that?
Yes.
Before I clear it. Okay, we're ready to clear it now. You're like, let's clear this thing. You've had it for a long time. You've had it for a very long time. Okay. You know, when I clear these, it's like a story that comes up. And what I get is you competing with your other classmates at school, even. Like trying to be as good as whoever. And
Yes.
that's sort of where it came from. Does that make sense to you?
And part of it, I think, relates to that, as my mom was a school teacher and
Wow.
it was always the pressure.
Yeah, totally. So can you say for me, please, I allow my soul to speak?
I allow my soul to speak.
Okay, awesome. How's that feel?
Better.
Feels a lot better from my end. Okay, just say it again. I want you to really hear yourself this time.
I allow my soul to speak.
Yeah, that's even stronger again when you said that. Like, you're actually starting to really believe that. And so that's what your role is on this planet at the moment. It's just allowing your soul to speak. Not your mum, not the other students, not other teachers. It's your soul that we want to bring out. How's that feeling for you?
Feels good.
Awesome. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna dial in for a moment because Candy, I'm getting, like, that goosebump confirmation. Your message and what your soul is here to express is vital to the fabric and interconnection in other people's lives. And I don't know what that is because I've never really connected with you, but know that what you have is authentic and unique. And it's time to express it in a new way, a bigger way.
So let's do one more. Thank you, Nancy. That's
Thank you so much.
perfect.
Thank you, Nancy.
That was beautiful. Let's do one more. And there was one more specific area that people always talk about, and that's this area of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my goodness, you know, like my God, someone's going to cash me out here. Like, I'm thinking I'm doing all this amazing work, but am I really? You know, like, am I just a bit of a fraud, really? So, if anyone wants to, again, it's really brave, but this is an opportunity to clear an old story that just isn't true.
Yeah. So if you're on the computer, raise your hand and then we will pick one of you from the computer. So you've got your hand raised. So let's see here. Allison Gardner had her hand up and then put it back down again. And then we also have Mary Jane. Let's do Mary Jane Charles.
Okay. Hi, Mary Jane. How are you?
Good morning, Barry. I'm well, thank you.
Good morning. Where are you in the world?
I am just southeast of Raleigh. I moved about 3 weeks ago, so I'm still unpacking, and but I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Look, I'm still unpacking. I actually call myself an Australian American these days.
Very good. Yay.
Both accents. So
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm absolutely loving it here. So it's really good.
And Barry, we're unpacking all kinds of things right now too.
Very good.
That's
Oh,
right.
Very clever, Nancy.
Mary Jane, tell us about why you raised your hand, because I know that's like, this is a big thing to raise your hand on too, by the way. I acknowledge you for that. But what is it about it for yourself? What's going on in your head, do you think?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I've been pretty good at a lot of things in life. And then I wrote a book and I published it. And I went to a 50-year reunion 3 years ago. And everyone was like, I never knew you wrote. I never knew this, that, and the other thing. And I'm thinking to myself, how did I present myself? And I knew to stay under the radar, if you will, in my family, because everyone was much older. And under the radar was fine. You just weren't picked out for any particular thing. Anyway, long story short, so I've had to grow into myself as an adult because I had so many gremlins running around my brain at different times. And at this point, I think I've been able to shed the imposter syndrome. I mean, as I understood.
Okay. I'm just going to leave it at that point because it's really interesting when people say something and I'm testing and I get the opposite. And so I think you've cleared some of the imposter syndrome.
Correct.
Right.
And I'm worried about that there's still something there.
There's still something there. And this, you know, sometimes I can be working in a group of people and the person that comes up is the person I least likely think that needs the correction. And it just wants to take it in at a much deeper level. And I think for you, this is the case.
Okay.
And so the statement I've got for you, it's a really cool statement for everyone gets the benefit of this. We all get to clear this. And the statement I've got for you, Mary Jane, is people appreciate all of me.
Okay. People appreciate, let me get through this. People appreciate all of me.
Okay. It's always a pretty good clue that I've got the right statement when people come in and get the statement out.
Yeah. Thank you. I think.
You know, like, that
Thank
means
you,
we've got the right statement, I think, yeah. So what I want to say here, and this again for all of us, is we all have a multitude of parts, all right, that make us who we are. And some of them are really high level and some of them maybe not so high. But they all make up, for me, all these aspects of me make up who I am. The good, bad, the ugly, if you like. And yes, I want to work on the bad and the ugly and improve those and become a better person. And it's really about having some compassion and appreciating all aspects of myself, because everyone's going to get to see that. And I can remember teaching, I remember using this in a group, and it was in a workplace setting. And this lady came out and she finally decided to share with this group of people that she's worked with for 20 years her big secret. And there was sort of this quiet in the room, and she said, I'm going to let everyone know my secret. I am stubborn. And the entire room just started laughing, because they've worked with her for 20 years. They know she was stubborn, right? And she was shocked. She was honestly shocked that everyone knew that she was stubborn, because this was something that she was trying to keep a secret. And then she went home that night. She actually asked her husband of 25 years, like, did you know that I was stubborn? And of course, he just laughed as well. And so it was a great example that these aspects of ourselves that we try to hide, people see anyway. And they still love you and they still appreciate you regardless. So this is, again, we talked about earlier being, authentic and unique. This is sort of another aspect of that people appreciate all of me, who I am, my quirkiness, my poor jokes, whatever it is, all of that. Can you sort of see that for yourself?
Yes, I can see it, and to see it and feel it in action is spectacular.
Yeah. So what would it feel like if you actually believe that people appreciate all of you?
It's well, here I go again. It touches my heart to the deepest point.
Yeah. And that's what this work does. It really is about touching into our hearts and our soul and clearing, mopping up this stuff that no longer serves us. So let's clear this. And I'm going to let you know, you've made all this story up yourself. We can't blame anyone else. We can't blame parents or teachers or anyone else on this one. It's a story that you've created yourself as a way of getting by. All right. And we've just released it. So I want you to say again for me, please. People appreciate all of me.
People appreciate all of me.
How does that feel saying that now?
Really good. And those who don't, the door is over there.
Yeah. So I just want you to know, congratulations. I can really feel that. Like that is really huge. And I want everyone to know that I've cleared those statements for everyone on all three aspects. So I'm really happy for people to share in the chat room. If you need to let Nancy know, let myself know. The easiest way, if you want to get in contact with me, I still old school in Facebook and Facebook Messenger. I love that. That is the easiest way. There's only one Barry Auchettl, Auchettl in Facebook. So it's going to be easy to find me and let me know what changes you've actually had. I'm really interested. Nancy, I'll hand it back to you for a second.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm going to bring on Carrie Byrne in a moment. She was sharing in the chat, and I want to give her the opportunity to clear about that. So Carrie Byrne, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here, and I've been struggling with this imposter syndrome for months and months. Started my own health coaching business because I lost 60 pounds, but I lost 60 pounds almost 10 years ago. And I just keep putting it off because I feel like people won't take me seriously because I still have more weight to lose and I'm not thin.
There's more to health than what you are on the scale. When I do weight issues for people, using this technique, it's never about how many pounds they are, never. It's always about how much they love themselves.
True.
You know, and there's some really large people on TV I've seen talking about health and lifestyle, and they're large, but they come across as this someone that really loves themselves and wants you to do the same. And so that's it's a really good example of recognizing. But I just want to test this one out for you just to make sure people appreciate all of me. I'll get you to say that. I want to see whether it's still holding for you.
Okay. People appreciate all of me.
Okay, that's actually holding really tight, by the way. So can you notice that there's a change going on for you?
Yeah, I've been struggling with this for a while, and I have been working on it. And I'm trying to force myself to take the next step. And I keep saying tomorrow.
So if I may,
So I'll get you to say, I choose to save time and do it now.
I choose to save time and do it now.
Yeah. So they're all holding for you. I'll give you the final one just so that you know. I allow my soul to speak.
I
I'll just say that.
allow my soul to speak.
So they're all holding. So this is going to create a transformation for you. And your only role is to let go of your old stories.
Mm-hmm.
Can
I
I
put it
share
in my
something?
phone. I'm going to repeat it all the time.
I love what Dr. Rod's put in the chat there. Hashtag people appreciate all of me. That's so cute.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And
You're welcome.
Carrie, thank you so much for sharing and stepping up, because your sharing allows all of us to clear these aspects as well. And there's another piece coming up that I want to bring to Barry, and about getting out there, sharing your message, and it has to do with comparing ourselves to others. Because if you're comparing, if I'm comparing myself to Oprah Winfrey, if I'm comparing myself to Lisa Nichols, if I'm comparing myself to, Barbara Kerkorian or whoever it is, if I think I'm supposed to be just like them in order for my message to get out there and for me to make a difference in other people's lives, I'm not going to do what my part is to do. You see, Carrie, there's a very unique set of population that only you can serve, that only is going to resonate with your message where you're at, because there are other people who may need to lose a bunch of weight and may think, oh, I can never get as skinny as Julian Michaels, right? That would not be the right coach for that person. So Carrie, does that resonate at all?
Yes, thank you very much. It really did.
Yeah. So can you give us a statement around this comparison thing, Barry?
It is an interesting one because it sort of comes up with people who do exactly what you're saying, especially when people do tours. We go and see someone, it's like, oh, I wish I was like whoever. And what's coming up actually, rather than a statement, I just want to reiterate, allow my soul to speak, because my soul, knowing that my soul is authentic and unique. And when we know that, it's not a comparison. It's simply a matter of being who we are. So sometimes it's a matter of just realizing my soul has really got a message out here, and I'm going to allow it to get it out there.
Right. So the little itty bitty shitty committee story might show up again and say, oh, I'm not as good, but I allow my soul to speak. And that's all we're here to do.
And I believe everyone here is a speaker. Like, it is a really important thing to get out there and to speak our voices, because if we don't, they're going to listen to all those other people who maybe don't have a message that is as high vibration as what everyone else hears.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good stuff happening. There's all kinds of great things going on in the chat and on Facebook. I'm going to bring that all to you in just a minute, Barry. I want to, we're going to open up for some more people to share. And part of the reason I asked Barry to join us today is, besides the fact that I loved him and he's amazing, like, don't you just love, like, How lucky am I? Anyway, and I know he's lucky too. Is here we are 6 weeks into 2023, and we start off with these great intentions, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to share my message, and I'm going to get on social media, and I'm going to do all these things. And I've noticed people kind of pulling back a little bit. And we want you to be the fullest expression so you can have your unique and authentic positive impact in the world. And Barry has a 3-part course that I'm going to ask him to tell you about in a moment. And I twisted his arm to make sure that he took really good care of our community. So Barry, tell them about it, and I will go ahead and put the link in the chat.
So thanks, Nancy. She did twist my arm. We had a wonderful discussion about how I could support people. As I said, we're all speakers. And I'm starting a program on the 15th of March called Clear Blocks to Profitable Public Speaking. Clear blocks to profitable public speaking. In other words, this is your opportunity, not just to speak, but somehow how can we get paid for that as well? Get paid to have your voice really heard. And so the 3 weeks consist of the first week of clearing blocks of actually getting profitable speaking gigs, of having people paying you. And we only did 3 today. We're going to do around about 7 to 10 blocks in each day of these events. So, you can imagine clearing, 7 to 10 blocks around actually finding places to speak. The second week will be on clearing blocks to actually speaking, standing up and delivering your best presentation. In other words, really allowing your soul to speak and actually putting that into action. And then the third week will be, what happens at the end? Do we just say thank you, or do we let people know at the back of the room we have an amazing offer for you, like I'm giving you now, or that this is the next step for you to go? So how to make profit once you've spoken. And so quite a unique process, because we're going to actually not so much tell you how to speak. I believe many of you know already, but we're going to clear those subconscious blocks that stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. So I'm really excited at that. And the offer that we're doing, this program is literally, I always just make the programs as low as I can. And this is a $297 program, which in itself can just allow so many possibilities for creating change in your life. And then Nancy said, what can you do for my members? And
You got to take
she's
care of
got
my
amazing
people.
So I've decided, because I do listen to Well Wednesday, I'm a bit of a fan of Well Wednesday, and I know that people come in and just really, offer what we can. And so I'm reducing that for people just in this group here to $27. So there's no reason to say I can't afford to do this. I'm wanting every person to take that opportunity.
Yeah. So what you're going to do, thank you, my love.
That's all right, sweetie.
Yeah. So go to bit.ly/CB speaking, and that's all lowercase. So bit.ly/CB speaking. And this is going to be a live 3-part class. Even if you can't make it live, you'll get the replays, and the replays work over space and time amazingly. And you'll also have, forever access to it, which is really cool. And then enter the coupon code, of course, WOW, WOW. And that'll take the price down from $297 to $27. And let me tell you, he sells this for $297. But
so people have already purchased it for $297 at the moment. So it is there. Someone asked about how long it goes for. These are 1 hour each. I'm really aware of people's time. So I will start right on time, by the way. So if you come 10 minutes late, you'll probably miss the first 2 clearings, and we finish on time. So I always value people's time because I know how busy we are. And each one of these clearings, by the way, traditional kinesiology would take up to 1 hour. So already today we have done 3 hours of kinesiology clearings that we did in that very short time. And over the course of these 3 hours, you actually get to clear about 30 hours of statements that would normally, take to do that.
So good. Awesome. All right. So go to bit.ly/CB speaking, all lowercase. And then the coupon code is WOW, which is capital W, small o, small w. Sammy Blindell, our friend across the pond, wants to know what time will we be live teaching the classes?
What was that? Sorry, Nancy, I was reading.
Sammy Blindell across the pond wants to know what time the live classes are.
Okay, so the live classes will be at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
No, internet issue.
Also 9 a.m. in Brisbane for those people in
So
Australia.
it's 6 p.m. Eastern time is when the classes are, and we're having a little bit of an issue with our internet here. But we're rocking it on. All right, they just froze. No, we froze. We're back. So let me go ahead and take a few people who we have in queue. The first up will be Pastor Darlene.
Darlene, how are you?
Hello, I am well. This was so good. I really believe it's important that we renew our minds. And it starts with a thought. And I was just reminded of what happened early on in the Bible where where Eve got talked to by a serpent and said and was challenged with what she thought she heard. And it's important for us to really remember what we're hearing and what we're saying about ourselves, because that's what we really project. And I'm so thankful that you are doing this because we all need it. I'm going to sign up for this course because it's important that we take care of our minds. Our minds, if our minds aren't right, anything else we do, it doesn't matter, because I think people can see through and feel through whatever it is that we're doing. So I'm thankful, and congratulations, you two.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for that. And look, I'm grateful. Nancy and I together, we just call each other all the time. So if we say anything that's below par, we'll say, is that really where we want to come from? And it's been so great to experience that with someone who is at that same level. So I'm just so blessed at the moment. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Darlene. Love you bunches. I appreciate you.
Love you.
All right. Once again, the link is, you want to go to bit.ly/CB speaking, which is clear blocks of speaking. So bit.ly/CB speaking. And then the coupon code you're going to put in is WOW, capital W, small o, small w. Let's go. We got several more in queue, and let's go to Laura Barker. Are you there?
Hi, Laura.
No, we can't hear you, love.
I just want to say while we're getting Laura on, for those people who are thinking, I'm not a professional public speaker, I just want you to know that speaking is a must because we're alive.
Okay.
So it could be about learning to speak for whichever occupation you're in and asking the manager for a raise, whatever it is. So don't think you have to be a professional speaker to come along to this program. It's for anyone that wants to have more effective and more profitable speaking opportunities.
Awesome. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, Laura. Yes, we
Hey,
can.
Gary. So I was saying, it's just so good to see you. You're one of my all-time favorite people, and I think you know that. But here's what I want to say to everybody else, and it's not really a question for you because I already know how powerful what you do for people is, because I've been very fortunate to be with you in person and have you clear some things for me. But what I would say to everybody that, first of all, you don't have to be in person, because I've also received clearings, just like we did today, which were really powerful for me. But, this program that you're offering is, WPN is so great because they teach us how to speak. They teach us how to get out there. What do we need on the practical side? And they do mindset stuff too, of course. But, none of that's going to matter, right? If we have all these blocks, right? We could have the best speaker reel. We could have the best bio sheet and all that. But if we have blocks about our self-worth or imposter syndrome or even procrastination, it's going to mess us up. Isn't that right?
Totally agree with you. And sometimes it's the opposite in my experience, that we could have, a speaker sheet that maybe still needs to be fixed up, and people ask us to speak anyway because there's an energy there that they says, I think I want you on this, they don't know any more than that.
Yeah. And let me also say this, that just thank you for $27. Oh my gosh. Y'all, if you don't recognize, the value of this, you're not listening or something, because really it is such a gift that, I signed up as soon as you put the link in the chat. I would not miss this for the world. And I just want to encourage everybody to really go all in on this, because I saw somebody asked in the chat, do the blocks come back?
Yeah, I was going to bring that. Thank you, Laura.
So
That's a
I'll let you
great
address
question.
that. But
I want to actually answer that, because that's a great question. And I would never say never, because that's just, things can happen. And it's almost like if we fall into a hole and we find our way out, do we fall into a hole again? And that's an individual choice. The second time, however, we're probably going to be a little bit more aware when we fall into that hole, if we do. Or we might say, I think I've done that before. And so if we do, and we have to clear it in, sometimes people have to go back and re-listen to it. And then by the third time they go, oh, that's the hole I keep falling into. I'm going to go down a different street. And so it really is an individual case. My experience is with this technique is I've had people come back 6, 7, 8 years later and it's still holding.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Laura, thank you so much. I'm glad you're going to be in the class with us. And you're amazing. Love you, my friend.
Right back at you.
Good to hear from you, Laura, as well.
You too. Thank you.
Awesome. And Sammy is having an issue with the buy now link. I know it's working for some people. So Sammy, I'm not sure what's happening there. I'll just double check and I'll circle back to you a little later today to make sure that you were able to get in, and we'll figure it out. Question, let's go ahead. Yeah, clean your cache, your cache. I don't know what it is. Cache, session. Anyway, go to bit.ly/CB speaking, enter the coupon code WOW, WOW, capital W, small o, small w. Let's go ahead, and I want to go to Allison Gardner. Are you still with us? Allison, are you here?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, you're
Hi,
welcome.
Alison.
Do you want to go ahead and ask your question, and then I'll go to Brenda.
Yeah, thank you. So I've got presbyopia. I heard you mention vision, or there's a vision school behind you.
Yes.
I've been trying various Bates method things for years now, and I've made slight improvements, but I wondered if I've got some blocks there, because I don't seem to go, I'm still wearing my glasses whenever I need to look at a screen or a book.
Sure. Alison, if you go to thevisionschool.org, there's a program there called Clear Blocks to Better Vision, which clears about 50 blocks around vision.
Thank you.
What I will do is, if you get that program and complete it, that's your challenge. If you get that program and complete it, I will give you a free session.
Okay, thank you.
And the session's worth $1,000, which is half the cost of the program. So, but that's the challenge for you, is to complete the program first, and then send me a note, and I'll make sure I honor that for you.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And give your email address again.
My email address is just Auchettl, so it's BAUCHETTL@gmail.com for those people who want to get in touch that way.
Beautiful. And better still, he likes Facebook Messenger. Reach out to him on Facebook Messenger. It's his favorite. Let's go to our final one, Brenda Sheldrake. Welcome, Brenda.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say thank you. This is my first time on any of the WPN programs, and it's really, I think it's kind of ironic. Maybe it's the universe, but I'm the queen. I have been the queen of procrastination pretty much all of my life. And when you
dethrone you, we need to dethrone you.
Well, when you were doing the I choose to do it now, there was something I could just feel like energetically all through my body. And I just kept saying it over and over and over again. But the interesting thing, when my alarm clock went off this morning, which was before I'd even heard you, when my alarm clock went off, I was like, oh, I don't want to get up. Oh, I'm sure there's a replay of this. And then I went, no, I'm getting up right now. And I got up and I came out and I got my computer started. And then this is what you were talking about. And it's just, it's so amazing. Barry, I've connected with you. I've sent you a connection request on Facebook. I would like to speak with you further, and I have signed up for the course. So
awesome. Look, I'm happy to talk to anyone from WPN and help anyone out any way I can.
So good. Brenda, all the signs were pointing in this direction, huh? How about that? I love it. I love it.
I'm glad you abdicated from the queen of procrastination. Well done.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so grateful that you got huge value from today. I know you did. Just wait till you do the course with Barry. Barry, thank you as always for bringing value to me personally, to our community, and to the world. I love you.
I love you too. And thank you, everyone. It's been a real honor to be here today.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Get the course, go to bit.ly/CB speaking, and it's just $27. And if by chance you're listening in or watching and you're not a gold member of our community, like what? Join us, jump in, become part of this amazing family of impact-focused entrepreneurs and change makers. Grab the 2023 special for just $2.99 for a full year by going to womensprosperinetwork.com/2023-membership. We'll see you on the other side, and I'll see all of you next week. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Get out there and allow your soul to speak.